One of the things that struck me in a conversation that we had last week, and also in hearing you tell your stories, is that you all had full lives before your diagnosis, it seems. You had what I would think was great meaning to your lives, but yet this is about discovering meaning in your journey and your experience. How have you done that, Sarah?
Good question. um, this is kind of difficult, but cancer has given me the opportunity to rediscover who I am. Mm-hmm. My whole life has changed. I didn't intend it. Sorry.
It's okay.
Professionally, I've decided to put my career aside. I'm being inspired to do other things. My personal life is changing. I have a smaller group of wonderful friends now. Being a competitive rower isn't as important as it used to be. But really kind of learning to believe in myself. I think also, through this whole journey, I've missed my mother. And she went through this journey, and I never paid attention. So obviously there's guilt, but I'm hoping she was an actress, and she used to make these really flamboyant clothes, and she used to tell me, Sarah, you're too conservative. And so, I've had a lot of time to sit. I've had a year and a half because of my first surgery in November that was non-cancer related. And I've also reflected on the first cancer I had with the radiation and everything. And I never asked for help back then. I just thought I could do it. And even though I would have had friends and family that would have probably helped me out, I guess maybe I was embarrassed, or I don't know what it was, but I didn't ask for the help. And so maybe I carried some resentment. And so now I've come this journey, and I've learned to understand that my network of family and friends, we all have different genetic makeup, right? And we all have a different way of coping with our lives and our other people's lives as caregivers or as friends or what have you. And that some people have the capacity to be really empathetic and compassionate, and some people just need to be the doers. And so I've recognized through this journey that I need to accept that about everybody, and that if I need something, I need to be humble enough to ask. And this journey, I remember my surgery in November, which again was the non-cancer part, but it has a big part to where I am today because of my bilateral mastectomy. I couldn't cut vegetables. It was 2 months after my surgery, and I was making chicken soup. And you need vegetables for chicken soup. And I couldn't cut them. So I called my neighbor next door and I asked her if she could cut my vegetables for me. And she did. She was very happy to do that. And then of course I gave her chicken soup. So I think this journey, again, it's very humbling. It makes me more compassionate for other people. It makes me more understanding of other people's, just genetic makeup, and being forgiving, I guess, is the best way to put it. And for me, I had to do things for myself. I had to start believing in myself. I had to have some self-compassion, which I'm still working on. I developed a routine. I would go to the Y. I had to buy a new bathing suit. That's part of how I have developed meaning through all this. I had to I had to buy a Speedo, because Speedos don't have any things there, right? And a Speedo shows everything. And so here I am in the locker room at the Y, and I want to get out to that hot tub. So I got to put on that Speedo, right? And I need to do pool therapy. So I got to walk out in front of all those windows where people are doing their exercise and everything. I got to walk out there, and I have to try to walk normal, be proud, be courageous, whatever. And that Speedo swimsuit really embodies a lot of what I had to go through in this journey. It allowed me to accept, and I'm still working on it, accept my image, accept all that trauma that I'm dealing with, still dealing with because of all the different triggers. I don't like it, but it's there, and I have to learn to cope with it. And so being able to do that for myself, getting in the hot tub, calling my friends to come play with me, getting back out in the boat, rowing has been a great therapy. Getting Purple Carrot meal plan, which is a Tom Brady meal plan, right? And started doing that because I was overwhelmed to go to the grocery store and figure out what to make for dinner the next day. Just really simple things like that. And I had to allow myself to do that stuff. Like before, I would have thought, oh, I can't do this. I gotta be, like everybody else. I gotta go out and plan the meals, go out to the grocery store, like run around. But no, I took the time to sit, drink my coffee and tea in the morning. I had so many appointments. In November alone, I had over 32 appointments. This month I had 25 appointments. So it's getting better, and it's getting better and better. It is a level of acceptance, and I'm actually, I guess I'm trying to be proud of my cancer. That's what I'm trying. I'm trying to be proud of it because it's given me this opportunity to redefine who I am.
We're going to hear an example of someone's creative expression next, and we'll go to you, Iris and Guillermo, after Grace has an opportunity with Kimberly to share a song.
Hi, everyone. So this original song that I wrote and recorded is called Survivor. I wrote and recorded it at Next Step. So writing and recording Survivor put me on my path to loving all of myself, my flaws and my strengths, and my personality. So it was really an eye-opening experience of how I could start to use my life experiences and flaws as tools, not as weapons. So I used to just want to move right past cancer, and now I'm proud of being a survivor in my survivorship. So while it doesn't define me, it is a big part of my life, and it is a part of me. The song affects a part of myself that I didn't want others to see, that I was kind of holding in on myself. But now I'm ready for people to know about my survivorship, and so this song is about that process.
I figured you know this already. She knows this because it came from her, of course, so paper's really just for me.
When you look at me, do you even really see me? When you look at me, do you even look inside? I know that you're insecure. I am too, we all are. But I don't know why you need to judge me. So here are some tips to let you know who I am. Who I am. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. Yeah. I came into this world with a mission to change it. Alright. Alright. I'm a survivor. I face my fears. I face death. But how you think you got me? No, I came and I conquered.
we told her she wasn't allowed to take the microphone and drop it on the floor. But I think you feel it, yeah?
No question.
There's actually much more to that song, but I just want to say thanks.
I just want to say the meaning I found in my journey, I mean, I found so many meanings. And one of them is being grateful on so many levels. Grateful to be here in front of you speaking. Grateful to be here, period. Grateful to be able to be a voice for those who don't have one anymore. I turned to social media at one point to share my story, to find others. And I found a couple, and they're no longer here, but I'm here for them. And I will forever hold them in my heart. I found that, as everyone that goes through something says, you know, life is short. It really is, but when you feel your soul about to leave its captivity, that really is a different way of looking at it. I wrote a poem, and just one part of it stuck with me, and it said, I know how to feel for a bleeding fish. And if you read into it, I mean, that's pretty deep, especially to me. Prior to this, I didn't. So going through this, I am grateful that I was able to be positive and have resources such as, Katrina, Megan. I did art therapy. I did so many other things on the side. And I found that not only sympathizing, but empathizing with people is a big thing. If you can sit there and not just, oh, wow, yeah, and just listen. No, I mean really understand. And give an example of what I'm trying to say. After I finished my treatment, I just wanted to give back. I just wanted to do as much as I can. And one thing I did was I started making handmade tutus for kids who are going through cancer treatment. Because I had a baby brother. The first time we heard the word cancer was with my baby brother, who was 8 years old, passed away in '94 from leukemia. And going through it showed me, wow, he was a tough kid, man. Always smiling, never once complained, never once was mad, never. And I can't recall the times I said so many swear words. So many, and I was, angry, but I let myself feel these emotions so I can be able to find meaning in this journey and be able to utilize them to do something better and to help myself heal and help others go through what they're going through. And I made these tutus, and I would visit the kids, and I would literally dress up like a big fairy. And at the time, my hair was very short, so when the kids saw that, they loved it. And when I could feel how appreciative they were, and I would take my nephew with me so he can learn and see that, not everyone's in school having fun. Some kids are in the hospital sick, going through things. He would dress up as Batman, and we would go and deliver these tutus in person, and just seeing the enjoyment of those kids, that one moment they're not worried about being sick, they're not a patient. That meant everything to me. That's such a vast question. There's so much meaning I found in this as me as a person, as being here. And just one word just sticks with me is gratefulness. It's just, I'm grateful.
Guillermo?
Ditto.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Iris and Sarah and Grace. the meaning of being alive and the meaning of being mortal. That's changed. And being grateful and happy. Crazy enough, I feel really happy. I'm happy for the people that I have met through this journey. I'm in a Cancer's Connection group. We are 22 men, and the most exquisite men ever. Some have already passed. I'm really happy right now to know that my radiation oncologist came here today. Thank you. And I'm grateful to my friends, but mostly to my wife and how she has been, to my friend Karen. My friends that have showed up to every appointment. I never went to one appointment by myself. Something that I recommend to everybody. Meaning of, the doctors are tough, they're in their own world, they inside this mechanics of the hospital and busy, busy, busy. And it takes the help of other people to come to an appointment with a list of questions and have them ask the questions for me. That, talking about being humble, but proactive. So humble is not just sitting back. The other change of meaning, okay, laying hands. This is about all the help you can get in massage therapy, art therapy, radiation. I made a card on radiation. It's not here right now, but it's a beautiful card that has this gold light coming into what the into me lying down in the table, and so I gave it to my oncologist, of course. Are there other images? Okay, oh, no, go back. Can you? Oh, okay. This is from a therapy appointment 2 weeks ago. This is chemotherapy, of course. This is a, if you've ever been in a laboratory, you know what this is. And this is a tube that goes into my port, which is right here. But it's dripping a drop. And I realized that I cannot get any more chemotherapies. There's no more chemotherapies available for me. I've done it, all the chemotherapies. I lost all my hair. I couldn't do any of the things that you do when you're in chemotherapy. But the big question mark came really clear. I said something that the art just showed me. I didn't know meaning emerges from my art. This is my wife. This is her love. And this is the insight that her love has given me. This is, unfortunately or fortunately, this is the graveyard where we bought some plot. Over there is the medical. Now, the medical establishment is very funny because that's the caduceus. Caduceus means two snake coming up with wings. A lot of question marks that I have about what the medical profession can offer me right now. So right now, last week I went to see a Tibetan doctor, and I'm under the care of a Native American healer. There you have it. And it's as hard as entering the medical profession, as hard as entering into the more traditional 3,000, 4,000-year-old traditions of healing. The same mystery emerges on both sides. They do the best they can, and who knows what will happen. There's another one.
There you go.
Okay, this is when I was, my intestines paralyzed because they gave me in one of the chemo, they gave me something that's called Amend. It just happens that after I did all the research, find out that most of the research is done on white men. I'm not white, and I'm a man, yeah, a man. but the 15% of the people will get paralysis on the intestines, and I did. So this is the expression of my desperation about not knowing if I was going to live or not, if I could eat of nothing. I lost 30 pounds at that time, and there's possibility many. Oh, this is the day that love was returning, and I was able to put my trauma out on the paper. And you can see that I didn't know what the image that was going to emerge. I was just doing scribble, 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 scribble until that looked like that. So there's no way to know what is going to happen. I think there's another one. That one is the day that I find out that the radiation therapy have stopped, or put a stop to the growth of a tumor that it was about this big that I had right here, that got removed last year. So that was a moment. And I did this. You can say, well, what a good drawing. No, actually, the sun was coming through the window, and I just put the piece of paper, and I drew the silhouette of the shade of my head, so it looks good, and then I color it. You know, that's it. That's enough. Okay, laying hands, I talked about that. So that's how I make meaning, or how art has helped me make meaning. And Megan, thank you, Megan. She was so wonderful. She came 3 days after my last surgery. I didn't bring the image because it's gruesome. And she was right there with all her art materials, and I was lying down flat with all the opiates that I was into, so I was, in a very strange place. Couldn't hardly move because I had a 10.5-inch incision in my abdomen. And she brought her, how do you call those? Paints and some canvases, and I ended up making a big red thing with black, one line with black things like that, which was all the incision, all the staples. And I was so dealing with trauma, which is what Sarah is talking about. That was a way to deal with the trauma. And I did another drawing later on, which had to do with all the sounds that I needed to deal with during the recovery from surgery. And I don't have it here because it was too complex. It's a piece of art that took me maybe 3 days to do, to process all what was happening in my head and in my gut in terms of dealing with the lack of sleep during the process that I was there, and the noise in the hospital, and the difficulty that I went through, but the drawing is actually beautiful.
We want to allow you to ask some questions of Sarah, Iris, Guillermo, and Grace, but I'll first ask you for general advice that you can offer our audience today.
Well, I definitely wouldn't do it how I did it the first round and not pay attention to it. I would say, I do have a few bullets on this. I would say believe in your goodness and your purpose. Find a way to have self-compassion. That's been very difficult for me. No matter what your stature is in society, or your family life, or work, or busy schedules, or how much strength you think you have the courage to pay attention to your emotional state. Though you may have a very supportive network with family and friends, don't underestimate what medically induced trauma can do to you. Allow yourself the freedom to just be quiet and still and reflective about your journey. Rediscover yourself and the serenity of the moment. And then finally, don't be afraid to dream and to dare to make changes in your life that will enrich not only your soul, but inspire others.
That was amazing. Did you take my paper, Sarah?
Just older and wiser.
I mean, I was gonna say a lot of those things. One is that don't be afraid to change everything around you, just to help yourself adapt to the new norm that you have to deal with now. As I did, I couldn't go back into a law office. I remember I realized that for sure when I went on a retreat, which a lot of my nurses, a lot of the faculty, I mean, I asked 1,000 questions. They probably would walk in and be like, ready? Okay, let's get ready to answer 1,000 questions. And I would ask questions like, oh, what resources can I look for? Is there any help up there? One, I got referred to Camp Kuru, which I was sent with a bunch of other different cancer survivors to Oregon to go snowboarding. And well, that was a great experience. I never snowboarded, and I was like, I'm gonna break a leg, but I've been through worse, so bring it. So it was amazing. I was able to snowboard down Mount Hood, and I literally cried when I got to the end, and it was amazing. And with that being said, sorry, my voice starts to get on my nerves a little. That's the sense that helps me talk. I was able to do that, and when I got back to the office and I sat in my office and I said, I cannot sit here 9 to 5 anymore, stressing myself, hearing the, are you okay? Do you still need to work? You know, I had certain arrangements done for me for when I came back to work, and I couldn't anymore, and I decided I want to travel. I haven't seen so much, and who knows what can happen next. Even though I have a very positive mindset, I'm a realist, and you never know what life has in store for you. So I said I need to travel, I need to get out there and enjoy myself, and I became a flight attendant, and I don't regret any bit of it. I love every aspect of my new career, and don't be afraid to do that. If you have to do anything that may seem drastic and crazy, and I told my family, they're like, what? You put 10 years of your life into this. And I said, yeah, well, I think my future me matters more, so I'm gonna do what makes me happy. And I honestly love that advice. And I would say just ask faculty, Google things. I mean, I Googled a lot of stuff. I found a lot of things I can utilize for myself, such as that after they told me about that, I started looking for young cancer survivor groups. I'm in a young cancer ovarian survivor group, which is really nice to speak with other people who've been down that journey and have advice and other resources I can utilize. So I would definitely say do what makes you happy.
I hate to give advice. Oh, sorry. That's my brother. I don't like to give advice, but I love to give advice. So I have to think about that, because be true to myself, listen to my intuition, my instincts carefully, because you know what's good for you and you know what is not. And that means friends, that means treatments, that means going skiing, that means going flying. Pay attention to who you are, because you're precious. And honor who you are, because there's nothing else more deeply important. And be honest as much as you can. And I know I'm stubborn. I'm really a stubborn guy. And it's really hard for me to do that. So I fight myself, and it's hard. It's a hard fight. So they talk about, you know, are you fighting cancer? No, I'm not fighting cancer. I'm embracing cancer. I'm fighting me. That is not willing to be open. So cancer is an illness that I embrace. that it has been waking me up every day, and that it has given me tremendous meaning in my life about who we are as beautiful people that we are. So, we're all learning. We're learning how to live this life and keep going, What else?
So what I'd say is for the life advice I give you is to definitely feel your feelings. So when I was in treatment, I kind of isolated myself and I didn't really feel the feelings that I was processing because I felt a lot of shame about my cancer treatment and diagnosis. So I kind of learned through music. Music definitely helped me to process the feelings and know that feelings are okay for you to feel because we're all humans, so feelings are, of course, normal. So another piece I'd say is to have confidence in yourself and your treatment and having cancer, because what you have to do is sometimes you need to advocate for yourself and for your needs. So when you have that confidence, it's easier to advocate and just go into the world and know that you are a shining star. So thank you.
Thank you.